Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we are taking a look at Chalices. So this module is a reference to Trivia Murder Party, and it is one of the little mini games that you play from Trivia Murder Party. So this game is also from Jackbox Party Pack as well, in case you didn't know. So you are sent to the killing floor, and you and your 7 friends are smart enough to poison 7 different chalices. You must drink from the non-poisoned chalice in order to survive. So now, using this little flowchart here, we will determine which one is safe based off of these numbers here on the outer ring, and that number will be the position of which you drink from to solve the module. So for example, let's say if I drink from 3, you hear a little slurping sound, but this is obviously wrong.
Oh
I
my
would love to give you that, but I really can't.
Easily the best easily the best strike sound in the game. So yeah, but that's what happens if you fail to strike, if you fail to drink the correct one. So the cup positioning and order rules can be found beneath the tables. So we're going to follow these several different rules based on the letters that we go to in this flowchart, and we're going to figure out the correct chalice to drink. So how exactly do we begin this? So we're going to start at the question mark in the center, like so, with the northmost facing arrow, and go clockwise, and go to the next clockwise arrow for each port on the bomb, and follow the rules from there. So taking a look, how many ports do we have on this bomb? We have 1 port. So starting from north, we're going to move 1 clockwise from our starting position to the hotel rule. Now, before we start looking at the actual rules and diving into how this module works, we need to start considering, consider the cup name and how it visually looks on the module. I don't care. So, what we have here is, we have the party cup, which looks like a red solo cup. The mug says number 1 diffuser, and it looks like a mug. The tall glass, it looks similar to what you would normally see in Giant's Drink, for those of you who have played that module. But you can describe this as it's just a very long drink. Like the middle part is a bit lengthy. The skull cup is pretty straightforward. It has a skull on it. The exotic cup is the very out of this world one. It's a purple drink, not something you'd usually drink out of. A wine glass is a pretty good one. It's a reference to a joke online. I'm gonna move on. The shot glass is, it's a little bit of a purple-ish drink, and it's got some red fluids inside it. And lastly, the metal chalice, it's the one that's made out of gold, and it's got like those little Simon symbols on it. Can't miss it. So, let us begin. So as we said before, we had 1 port on this bomb, and we go clockwise from north 1 time. So we're going to go to the hotel rule, and we're going to figure out what we're looking at here. So hotel is our first rule. It is also important to pay attention to this too, because each little section we have here is a little bit different. And this tells us what our condition-wise stuff is true. If it's true, if the first condition is true, follow the red arrow. Otherwise, if the second condition is true, then follow the black arrow, if available. Not every rule will have a second condition. Otherwise, follow the white arrow. So, what we must do is, or every condition every rule has 2 conditions. It's just not every position will have the black arrow present. So, it's important to pay attention to that whenever going to a different table, because the rules are bound to change. Like for example here, if the first condition is true, follow the black arrow, otherwise the white arrow. And for the other one down here, for this other table down here, if the first condition is true, follow the white arrow, otherwise the black arrow. So those just change, those just interchange, those are vice versa. So, let's take a look. So our first rule here is, if the party cup is in any of the following positions, 1, 6, 7, or 8. Now, it's important to know how we treat this thing. So, instead of considering the cups in the order given on the module, consider them as one continuous string, where the rightmost cup of one row is adjacent to the leftmost one on the next row. So, what we would see here is, essentially, we have the mug, then the skull cup, then the metal chalice is and then the metal chalice is essentially adjacent to the skull cup. It might not look it on the module, but that's how this thing works. But it's also important to note that this string does not wrap around from the bottom right to the topmost. But essentially, it's just in reading order, and you continue reading it like normally. But it's important to recognize that these rows loop around, except at the end to the beginning. So it's important to recognize that. So, if the party cup is in any of the following positions, 1, 6, 7, or 8. So, party cup is at position 4. So that is not true. If mug is in any of the following positions, 2, 3, 4, or 5. No, mug is in 1. So both of these rules are not true. So we will follow the white arrow. So from this hotel, we'll follow the white arrow, which in this case is another hotel. And these conditions do not change at all because they are solely related to the placement of different glasses for this table. The second table relates to edgework conditions, and the third table links to different sequences, essentially. So, we followed the white arrow from the beginning to the hotel. We followed the white arrow because this rule tells us to. And then we follow the white arrow again, so to a Zulu. So this is where we're currently at right now. So to a Zulu, this rule is if all cups are placed in alphabetical order. If the first condition is true, follow the white, otherwise follow the black arrow. So let's take a look. So we have the mug, we have the skull, we have the metal chalice. This is already not true. These cups are not placed alphabetically, and this rarely will ever happen. So in this case, we're going to follow the black arrow. So from this Zulu over on the right, we're going to follow the black arrow down to Oscar. And this will be our last rule, determining whether we drink either 4 or 5. So Oscar, if there is at least one serial or parallel port, serial and parallel. No, the only port that we had was a DVI. So in this case, we are going to follow the white arrow this time, since we were at a different table. So Oscar following the white arrow will get us to 4, and this is our safe cup. This is our safe chalice to drink from. So we're going to drink from the party cup, being 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just like that, you hear the little glitter sound, green light shows up, and the module solves. Let's take a look at another example. Just make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay, so this time we have 4 ports. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Starting from the center, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ports. That'll take us down to rule delta. Delta's rule are, if the mug is at a prime position spot, mug is at 1, so mug is not prime right now. It is not in a prime position. 1 is not prime. If the skull cup is at the spot corresponding to the last digit of the serial number. What is the last digit of the serial number? That is a 6. 1, 2, 3. Skull is at 3 and not at 6, so that is not true. So otherwise, we will follow the white arrow. So this delta will take us to a golf. Golf rule is, if the skull is right of the metal chalice, it does not have to be directly to the right, but is it right of the metal chalice? So the skull cup is actually to the left of the metal chalice, so that is not true. If tall glass is right from the center, it is in this case, because the center is, the center would be the metal chalice. So it is indeed right from the center. If the second condition is true, then follow the black arrow, if available. Let's check. So golf actually does not have the black arrow present, so either way this rule does not apply. So therefore we are going to follow the white arrow. So from golf, we're going to go down to Yankee. Yankee's rule is, if the wine and shot glasses are both at the ends of the lines. So what this means is both wine glass and shot glass at 1 and 8. because that is the beginning and the end of each line. So we have the wine glass down here at the end of the line, but we have the mug at the other one. The shot glass is at 6, so that is not true. So we will follow the black arrow from the Yankee. So down to Lima. Lima's rule is asking if there's an even amount of battery holders. There is not an even amount of battery holders in this case. We only have 2 batteries in one holder. So we will follow the white arrow to bring us to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just like that is a solved module. Let's take a look at one final example. And I have to do this again, because this is one of the best strike sounds ever.
Not it, I'm afraid.
God!
I love this thing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ports. So starting from north, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the Bravo rule. So let's start it there. So if the tall glass is placed at an even position, I can already tell that no, because tall glass is literally the very first one, so it's not an even position. If metal chalice is placed at an odd position, metal chalice is down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not true. So both of these rules are not true. We will follow the white arrow from Bravo. Bravo takes us to Alpha. Alpha has this. If the skull cup is left of the wine glass, the skull cup is to the right of the wine glass. That is not true. If the party cup is right, before we even actually do that, let's check if we need to even check this condition, because we might not even have to. If we look at Alpha, no, there is no black arrows that we can follow from this position, so we're just simply going to follow the white arrow. So X-ray. Down onto X-ray. If the sequence of party cup, tall glass, and exotic cup is present, let's check. We have party cup, tall glass, and exotic cup. They're all over the place, so no. There is no sequence of that. So, in this case, we'll follow the black arrow from the X-ray over to Juliet. And Juliet's rule, if there are exactly 5 batteries. There are only 2 batteries, so no, that is not true. We will follow the white arrow from Juliet. So from Juliet, we'll get to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.